This is an overview of Futato chapter 16. This will be pretty brief. This chapter covers possessive suffixes on singular nouns. That means that there will be a future chapter that covers possessive suffixes on plural nouns. So we're only worried about singular nouns. These are items you're going to have to memorize. They're very important. You will see them everywhere. Just by way of orientation, a possessive suffix is going to be a little letter or two attached to the end of a noun that will give it a pronoun translation, and specifically a pronoun possessive translation. So, for instance, in English, we have my horse, your horse, his horse. English puts a pronoun before the noun. Hebrew typically adds a suffix to the end of a noun to get that meaning. So if we scroll up here, we have here our noun sus. Let me make this a little bit smaller so we can get everything on the screen. Right here we have sus plus holam vav for sus o. We see this, it means the horse of him, his horse, so on and so forth. You're going to have to memorize these forms, specifically this column right here. And I have a separate video to help you do that. But that's what the pronoun suffixes are for. The note down here, the dot in the he of the third feminine singular suffix right here, you'll notice there's a dot in this he, is called a mapik, and indicates that the he is a consonant, not a vowel letter. So this is a scribal mark to tell you, hey, consider this a consonant, hey, and not part of a vowel like comets hey at the end of a verb form. So we have form of feminine nouns before the suffixes. These up here, we'll scroll back up. These were masculine nouns in gender. Sus is the masculine form. Well, what about susa? Well, that's the feminine singular form of sus. And what happens is before the suffix is added, and you'll be happy to see that the suffixes are exactly the same, before the suffix is added, the he from susa changes to a tav right here, changes to the t. So we would have susato, his mare, again mare, feminine, horse, feminine singular form. But the suffixes themselves are the same as for masculine singular nouns. We go down here, form of various nouns before suffixes. Read through this if you want, but this whole discussion is about vowel changes. And I've told you before that you don't need to care about vowel changes unless I tell you that a certain vocalization, the dots and dashes, are important. So you look at the example. We have here davar, the plural is devarim, and of course, if I've told you not to worry about the vocalization changes, but Futato wants you to know how you go from davar to devarim. You get the same sort of change to a shava out here, davar to devaro. And my estimation of this is, who cares? You could take away the vowel marks, and you're still going to have davar with the suffix, his word. You're still going to have makom with a suffix, his place. You don't need to worry about these vowel changes. Just memorize the suffixes. So we come down here. There will be an oddity here with am. It will have a doubling dagesh dot in the form before the suffix. So again, read through 16.9 just so that you have it in your head. And then 16.10, you're going to have a noun like bayit. It will change to its construct form, bait, before the suffix. So just read through 16.9, 16.10 so they're in your head. And then certain nouns will have odd forms like av. Recall that in the construct it's avi. You will get this yod before a suffix. Again, these are just things that you want to read through and remember. So isha changes to eshet, and that changes to ish taka for your wife. But again, take out all the vocalization. If you know the construct form of isha, you'll know what aleph shin tav is, and then you have a suffix. But again, I'm recommending that you read through this, but do not try to memorize all the vocalization and consonant changes. Here's the principle. There are some nouns that end in hey, like isha, that, of course, the hey changes to a t, a tav in the construct. It'll do the same thing before suffixes. That's all you need to remember. And that's it for the chapter. Here's our vocabulary. So this is a fairly simple chapter. You only need to memorize the suffix endings, and you'll be just fine.